Morning, everybody. Lee Brower here, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here, and I am glad to be here. I recently read a story about a mother in Utah, and she encouraged her son, he was under 10, to go and go up to the counter and order for them at Chick-fil-A. Now, so he went up the corner and ordered, and he came back with a big grin on his face, put the order down, and his mom said, "How'd that go?" He goes, "My legs were shaking, but I want to do it again." Now that caused me to think. His legs were shaking, yet he wanted more of the experience. Why? Because something inside of him had just grown. He had discovered something that no screen could ever teach him. What was it? I can do hard things. And many of us grew up in a world where human interaction was unavoidable. We answered the phone. We knocked on doors. We introduced ourselves. We ordered our own meals. We looked people in the eye. But today, human interaction is increasingly optional. But think about it. We can order food without talking to anyone. We can bank without talking to anyone. We can shop without talking to anyone. There's so many things we can do without talking to anyone. We don't have to go outside and play. I got little creatures that'll play with me right on my video screen. And you know what? Now we're seeing more AI powered toys. This is really creepy to me, like dolls or teddy bears. They can actually hold conversations with our children, answer questions, respond instantly. I mean, technology is remarkable. But what happens if a child becomes more comfortable talking to a teddy bear, develops an emotional dependence with a teddy bear, than talking to another human being, the mother, their father? They need that emotional interaction. If they get it from AI, come on. What happens if convenience begins to replace connection? And I'm not against technology. I think it's okay. Here's what I think technology is. I think technology is a wonderful servant. Technology is a wonderful servant, but we must be the ones that remain in control. It's a poor substitute for human relationships. A teddy bear can answer questions, but a parent can help shape character. A teddy bear can respond, but a parent can listen. A teddy bear can simulate companionship. A parent can love and provide belonging. Now think about this thought. I've been reading, this is a great book. One of our fellow thrivers, Chris Doty, recommended it for me, and now I've seen more and more about it, by Jonathan Haidt. The Anxious Generation. Highly recommend it. In fact, there's a TED Talk. Highly recommend you go listen to it. But what what if everyone became dependent on artificial intelligence? What if everyone became dependent on it? That would mean that nobody would have to depend on you. Nobody would have to depend on us. That's uncomfortable sounding. I mean, as entrepreneurs, we want to be needed. As moms and dads, as grandparents, we like when we want to be needed. And yet, our greatest responsibility is to give them what technology will never give them: unconditional love, a safe haven that they can always come home to, and the experiences that help them learn they can eventually depend on themselves. And I think one of the greatest responsibilities of parenting is not just feeding our children or raising them and making them depend upon us forever. Ideally, it's raising children who can eventually depend on themselves. Think about it. Children need opportunities to ask questions, opportunities to solve problems, opportunities to, yes, order a meal, make the phone call, introduce themselves, figure things out, be creative, look someone in the eye, be uncomfortable, and discover that they can do it. I don't think that little boy's legs shaking was evidence that something was wrong. Mm-mm. It was evidence that growth was taking place. And maybe confidence isn't the absence of shaking legs. Confidence is remembering that you moved forward anyway. So here's my question for this week. Am I giving And this applies really not to just children. If you're an entrepreneur, you run your business the same way. Think about it in many, many different ways. But am I giving the children and grandchildren in my life more conveniences or more opportunities? Because opportunities become experiences. Experiences become confidence. Confidence becomes capability, and capability becomes contribution. One of the greatest gifts we can give the next generation is not that they needed us, is that we help them discover they could thrive on their own using technology to become even more human. Have a great week, everyone. And remember, live life deliberately, make life meaningful. I look forward to talking to you next week. Looking forward to your response to this. Have a great week. Bye bye.